Everyone, it's Emily Fox. Today's video is going to be all about beauty products that I recommend you check out during the Sephora VIB sale. I will put all the date and all the information in the description box, including what I'm wearing. But these are all beauty products that I've discovered more recently because I didn't want to repeat myself too much. So I'll link down below again past recommendation videos or my best makeup and my best skincare of 2018. So let's do this. First thing I want to say is pick up any backups you need. I feel like I always forget to repurchase like my favorite eyeliners or my favorite foundations or anything that is like a basic product that I need to remember to get. So this is your reminder, which by the way, one of my favorite foundation, the Lancome Idole, which is just, I've raved about this so much. They're currently having a combo. You get the foundation for the same price. You get also a travel size of the primer and setting spray. So if you wanted to try it during the sale, would be the time to pick it up. Speaking of foundation, if you want something with medium coverage, that one is definitely full coverage. I highly recommend you check out the Giorgio Armani Power Fabric Foundation. I feel like I barely mentioned this, and I love using this during the summer because I feel like it's definitely more targeted towards normal to oily skin. It kind of has a powder finish, and I'm actually wearing it today. And I'm surprised the color actually works for me right now. It's number 5 and it's definitely a summer shade. But it looks so freaking natural on the skin. If you have normal skin, you don't even need to powder. During the summer, I would apply some, mostly on my T-zone, but it just looks so natural and just flawless. I know I feel like everyone talks about the Luminous Silk Foundation, but I think this one works better for me. So if you were looking to try a new foundation and you want something more natural, I would definitely check out that one. First Aid Beauty came out with a new primer, and I love so many of their products. I've talked about so much about this face moisturizer, which is like the best thing ever. And they recently came out with this primer, which is the Pores Be Gone Matte Primer. And this is just a mattifying primer, but what I really like about it is that first off, it looks, oh my god, I just applied way too much. Let me try to like put some back. Nope, not working. But I actually really like this because I feel like very often products that are targeted towards more oily skin or like mattifying products tend to be so drying. And I have combination skin. I get very oily in my T-zone, but I also have dry patches. And especially during the summer, if I have any dry patches left, I feel like everything that I try to apply to control my oils just make it so much worse. And then being oily and dry at the same time is just not my best look. And I feel like this is actually a good combo because I feel like this isn't as drying, but it does absolutely make my pore be gone. But seriously, I feel like I don't tend to use primers on a daily basis because they tend to be too much. I tend to keep them only for like pictures or going out or something. But this one I can actually see myself using every single day without any issues. And by seeing myself, I mean I actually have been doing that. Speaking of which, I feel like we're all preparing for spring and summer. I feel like for once it's actually sunny. I feel like every time I film it's so dark, but today, big sun. And what does that mean for me? It means powder. I need to try and keep my oils at bay, under control. I want to look flawless, and I feel like this powder is so freaking good. This is the Too Faced Peach Perfect Mattifying Loose Setting Powder. I also recommend the other one that they have if you have drier skin, but this just looks flawless on the skin. Again, my pores are disappearing, actually controls my oil without being too much, and it smells like fruits, which again, if you want to make me get your product, do that. I'm trying to not put my nose too close as I'm spelling it. I've done that mistake once, only once. But it's just such a great powder, and I feel like you get such a humongous quantity that it's actually sometimes not that much more expensive than getting a drugstore one. So I feel like these are definitely worth the money. How many grams? It's something ridiculous, like 35 grams of powder. See, for example, a Rimmel one is like 10 grams. Like, it becomes not actually expensive whenever you realize how much you actually get in here. So if you're looking for a new loose powder, I would highly recommend checking out the Too Faced one. And if you're looking for one under your eyes, which I know is like super extra, but I feel like I tend to go for like mattifying powders for my T-zone, but my under eyes are super dehydrated. And whenever I want to set my concealer in place, it can become like too much. And I have been so in love with this Becca powder. This is the Under Eye Brightening Setting Powder. First off, it's like straight up white, so I feel like sometimes some powders will be quite beige or even like yellow to counteract your under eyes, but it just looks straight up beige or yellow under my eyes, and it's darker than the rest of my face, which just doesn't work, right? But this one actually brightens my under eyes. It sets everything in place without looking drier, and it's just so good. And I went into this being kind of like because I had tried another product by them, their like primer, this, which sucks, but this is amazing. I just been using it pretty much every single day. If you're looking for products to use during the summer, I feel like bronzers are kind of a must, and I've been raving about the same ones over and over again, the Too Faced Chocolate Milk Soleil, the NARS Laguna bronzer, but this is my most recent love. I tried it a few months ago when I was doing a full face trying on a bunch of best-selling products at Sephora, and ever since I've been like, oh, this is actually really good. This is the Marc Jacobs Omega Bronze Coconut Perfect Tan in Tan-Tastic, and it's just a humongous bronzer, and I've been loving it. It has a humongous mirror too, and I am actually wearing it today. It looks super natural. It's matte, it's not orange, it blends beautifully. I have like literally zero complaints, and I don't really smell the coconut, which I'm okay with because I don't really like coconut, but I don't really smell it, so. I actually filmed a version of this with a bunch of underrated makeup products at Sephora, and I completely forgot to mention these, so I'm giving them some love right now because, oh my god, I'm still in love with glitter eyeliners, and I feel like nobody mentions the Urban Decay metal, heavy metal glitter eyeliners, and I'm obsessed with these. I'm always grabbing these. They don't dry as quickly. I've tried like drugstore versions, and like after a few months they were completely dried, which... but not these. I've had these for a little while now. Some of my favorites would be Distortions, and recently I was wearing this blue one because I wanted to pretend I was Jennie from Blackpink. And I put this on top of my black eyeliner and it looked amazing. This one is called Gamma Ray. So basically they have a bunch of different ones. I've been using them again on top of my eyeliner, or I do like a cut crease just with that, or I can just accentuate the cut crease with this, and they're just so freaking good. They're actually pigmented, there's a bunch of glitter, they're pretty fine, but they definitely stand out. It's kind of a wearable way to add glitter in your life, so I needed to mention these. And actually, speaking of wearable glitter, all over my lid I'm wearing this one. Again, I'll link everything I'm wearing down below, but the Stila Glittering Glow, which I feel like they've definitely gotten a lot of love, but some shades less than other. I feel like people talk about the glitter, the shimmering glow, like Kitten, which is just a classic champagne color. But the glittering glows deserve so much more love, especially this one, which is Wanderlust, which is the one I'm wearing on my lid. It's kind of a brown gold with like a shift, like a pink shift to it, which is just so nice. And probably one of my favorite one, which is super surprising for me because I'm not a pink girl, and the color Sunset Cove is like a kind of like pink with a lilac shift to it, and it's so pretty. You can see actually I'm like halfway through it now and I'm like, no, because these are pricey, but I do recommend getting them during the sale because you get 10 to 20% off. So you know what? Another thing I recommend checking out during the Sephora sale is usually going for more expensive products that you want to wait for sale for, right? And I tend to always do that for perfumes because they are expensive, and I wanted to talk about two of my favorite ones right now. The first one, I'm still completely in love with this one. This is the Ralph Lauren Tender Romance. It's like my second bottle of this. This just smells like not too fruity, not too florally because I'm not a floral person. It's like a nice everyday sexy, you know? It's not super out there. I never got like any negative comments. It's the opposite. I always get compliments when I'm wearing this, and yeah, I call this my wearable sexy perfume. And I also really wanted to review out this one because once I finish this small size, I will be buying the full size, even though it is pricey, but absolutely worth it. Atelier Cologne Vanille Essence. Just like the vanilla scented perfume that, oh my freaking god, I'm obsessed with this. It works all year round. It's a sexy vanilla that isn't overly sweet, which I feel like vanilla usually tends to be like cake sweet. And as much as I like them for like my lipstick, for example, I don't want to smell like that. It just gives me a headache eventually. Oh, I can't deal. I love, love, love that one. So again, during the sale, definitely recommend checking out their perfume. Actually, Atelier Cologne, they also have one that smells like oranges. Is it Clémentine? I'll link it down below too, but like so freaking good. Orange Sanguine, that's what it is. Blood orange. Yeah, they're so good. Definitely recommend them. Absolutely worth the money. Let's take a break from makeup and talk about a few skincare products because The Ordinary is back at Sephora. This is basically a super, super inexpensive skincare brand. And I mean, if you're gonna get it on sale too, but I have paid full price for these and I would continue to do so. They're absolutely worth it. Now they're just easier to find because they're at Sephora. Let me talk about two of my favorite products by them because I will definitely be getting some more to test out. But the Salicylic Acid 2% solution product is just a kind of liquid. It's a thicker liquid, so it's not too runny. And I use this as a spot treatment for acne basically, and it just works perfectly. I am halfway through this bottle. This is like my second bottle. and I use it again when I have a proper pimple. I'm pretty sensitive to acids. I don't need to use very strong stuff to burn my face, so I tend to use this carefully, but I haven't had an issue with it unless I apply too much. So you just need a tiny bit on it, and then overnight it just kills it, which... And then I also wanted to review about this. This is their Natural Moisturizing Factor Plus HA. It's a pretty thick moisturizer. Actually, let me swatch it for you. They have the small format of it, but this is the humongous one for like $1 more. So if you like it, definitely recommend getting the big one. So as you can see, it's a thicker moisturizer, but what I like is that first off, it actually still sinks into my skin. Like I mentioned, I have combination skin. I am super prone for like clogs and acne, and just my skin just hates thicker moisturizer, but then it complains that I'm not moisturizing it enough. So this is great for me at night or during the winter. I would highly recommend checking that out if you have drier skin too. It just seals everything you put on beforehand, and it feels very like, I don't know, satisfying and protective overnight. It doesn't have a scent to it. It doesn't have a long list of ingredients. I kind of appreciate that because I feel like, again, so many moisturizers I feel like have a bunch of ingredients, which can work for some people, but I feel like my skin has been pretty sensitive ever since I stopped birth control. So hormonal acne has been going crazy, and I feel like I want to try and keep it simple, and this has just been working beautifully for me. And again, it's about like $7, $8. If you have any recommendations, let me know. Everyone knows about the LANEIGE Lip Sleeping Mask, right? But Sephora started carrying this flavor, which I usually only found online. This is the vanilla one, and I'm not sure you're gonna be able to tell, but yeah, mine has been very, very well loved, and this will take you over a year to finish. Like straight up using it every single night, you will still have a bunch of it in a year. It's just never ending. Still smell really nice, like a sugary vanilla. I use this before night, and I feel like it just smooths my lips. It does moisturize, but I feel like it especially smooths them. Like if you have any, I was going to say dry patches, like chunks of like, you know what I mean, on your lips, I feel like the next morning your lips are just exfoliated and smooth and just back to normal. I love this. And then for face exfoliation, I have been loving this. This is the Neogen Gauze Peeling Lemon flavor. This is basically a pad. Actually, let me show you. It's a mix of physical and chemical exfoliator, AHA exfoliator, which works better for me than BHA generally speaking. It has two sides to it, so it has the smooth side and then the slightly exfoliating, kind of more rough section. You just rub it on your face, actually on this side first, and then you go back with this one just to remove any dead skin, and it works so nicely on my skin. They have a wine scent too, which apparently smells like grape, which I haven't tried yet, but I do really love lemon, so I've been using this and really enjoying it. So if you're looking for a new mix of physical and chemical exfoliator all in one, I would recommend this one. I'm usually not a big physical exfoliating person because I feel like they can be quite rough on my cheeks especially, but sometimes you need something a little stronger, especially on my nose, and I feel like this has been working well. I also wanted to mention the NARS highlighters. They recently reformulated them in this format, and so good, and I've never heard anyone mention these. They have a few different shades, but I'm currently wearing this one, which is the Albatross shade, which they've had in the different format, the one that looks like a blush, but I feel like this works better for me than the old one did, and I feel like it might be the unpopular opinion, but I just feel like this is a natural but intense highlighter. I feel like a lot of the highlighters that have been coming out tend to be quite thick and almost like a eyeshadow formula. They're quite like, you put your finger in there and you can dig deep by accident. Like it's definitely like buttery smooth, but a little too much for me. This one is actually quite dry, but it's still super intense. I don't feel like it emphasized the texture on my skin as much as other ones, and I can't recommend this enough. They have a few different shades like I was saying, but this one has been my go-to for like the spring, and then we're going towards summer. I know I'm going to be getting a lot of use out of this one. Definitely recommend this. So that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comment section what products you recommend other people checking out during the Sephora sale. I'll link other things down below, including the videos I was mentioning that I've done and the ones that are coming up. Definitely don't forget to subscribe because you don't want to miss any of those videos, and actually I will be putting some on the screen that I recommend you check out, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!